10 minutes left to see the truth about what your soulmate is really doing. And before you think this is just another dramatic message, pause right here, because this isn't meant to scare you or rush you. Close your eyes for just a second and feel that heavy space in your chest. That's not just loneliness. That's the energy of the person who is supposed to be by your side, wrestling with the truth they can no longer hide from. You think they've moved on. You think their silence means you've been forgotten. The truth is, they are more haunted by you now than they ever were when they were close, right now, in the quietest hours of the night, when the world stops demanding things from them. Your name is the only thing echoing in their mind. They are sitting in the dark, staring at their phone, terrified of the version of you that no longer chases them. They are unlearning a lifetime of fear just to reach your level of peace. They are grieving the person they used to be, the one who was too weak to stay. Stop scrolling. Not because I have a message for you, but because your soulmate is currently in an internal reckoning that is about to change your life forever. Stay with me for 10 minutes. Let's look at what they're doing in that silence, because the truth is finally ready to be seen. While you've been navigating the world, trying to heal, trying to find your footing again, your soulmate has been trapped in a room they cannot escape, the room of their own memories. You see, when a soulmate pulls away, the world assumes they've moved on, but the truth is much more haunting. For the first time, they are looking in the mirror, not the physical one, but the mirror of their own conscience, and they don't like the reflection staring back at them. For months, they've used silence as a shield. They told themselves that by not talking to you, they were protecting their peace, but lately, that shield has started to feel like a prison. They are replaying your moments together, not the romantic, movie-like scenes, but the raw ones. They are replaying the moments where you were vulnerable and they were cold, the moments where you reached out with your heart open and they met you with a wall of ambiguity. They are asking themselves the questions they've avoided for years. Why did I run when it felt real? What am I so afraid of? You have to understand the psychology of their distance. Most people think a soulmate leaves because they don't care. The truth, they leave because they care too much, and it terrifies them. Your love, your energy, it's a high-frequency vibration. It demands honesty. It demands growth. And they were living in a low-frequency state of comfort. They realized that to be with you, they would have to burn down the old, cowardly version of themselves. And back then, they weren't ready to let go of the ashes. But something has changed. That comfort they sought in the silence, it has turned into an agonizing itch. They are observing their own patterns now. They are seeing how they sabotaged the connection, not because you were too much, but because they felt like not enough. They are sitting in their car after work, or staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., realizing that the freedom they thought they wanted is actually just a vast, empty loneliness. And here is the part that they don't want you to know: they are watching you, not necessarily through a screen, but they are feeling your energy. They've noticed that the pull has gone quiet. They've noticed that you aren't sending those energetic SOS signals anymore. You've stopped orbiting their uncertainty. You've stopped waiting by the door. And this shift in you is what is driving their internal confrontation. When you were chasing, they had the luxury of being the one who is pursued. It fed their ego and kept them safe. But now that you've stood back, now that you've reclaimed your light, they are left standing in the dark, alone. They are realizing that the version of you they once thought they could approach casually, the version that would always forgive, always wait, and always understand, no longer exists. You have evolved. You have leveled up. And that contrast is like a spotlight on their own stagnation. They are realizing that access to you is no longer a guaranteed right. It is a privilege they have potentially lost. This isn't a betrayal of you, it's a reckoning with themselves. They are struggling with the guilt of the time they've wasted. They're looking at the days, the weeks, the months that have passed in silence, and they are realizing that time doesn't heal everything. It sometimes just solidifies regret. They are sitting with the truth that intention alone is not enough anymore. They can intend to love you all they want in their head, but if they don't move, if they don't act, that intention is just a ghost. They are facing the shadow of their own indecision. They are asking themselves, if I show up now, will they even recognize me? Or have I stayed silent for so long that I've become a stranger to the only person who ever truly knew my soul? Stay present with this thought, because the silence you are hearing isn't an empty space. It is the sound of a person finally admitting to themselves that they were wrong. They are in the middle of a confrontation with their own fear, and the truth is finally starting to win. What is happening right now in the depths of your soulmate's spirit is perhaps the most painful yet necessary part of this journey. They are in the stage of unlearning. You see, most of us are taught from childhood how to survive, but very few of us are taught how to love. Your soulmate grew up building walls as a form of art. They learned early on that to be safe meant to be hidden. They learned that vulnerability was a trap, that showing your heart was giving someone a map of where to hurt you. These aren't just habits. These are survival patterns, deeply ingrained blueprints handed down through generations. But then they met you. Your love was a glitch in their survival system. You offered a level of intimacy that their ego didn't know how to process. When you showed them pure, unconditional light, their internal alarm went off, screaming, "Danger! This is too real! Run!" And so, they did what they've always done. They retreated into the cold, familiar safety of their shadows. But here is the truth that is unfolding in these very moments. The shadows don't feel like home anymore. Your soulmate is currently unlearning the lie that love has to be synonymous with anxiety. They are unlearning the belief that they have to be perfect or in control to be worthy of your presence. Right now, they are sitting in the wreckage of their old belief systems. They are realizing that the emotional shortcuts they've used for years, the ghosting, the shutting down, the numbing of their feelings, no longer bring them relief. They only bring regret. Imagine them sitting alone, perhaps in the silence of their room, finally looking at the tools they used to protect themselves. They are realizing these tools are actually weapons they used against the only connection that ever made them feel alive. This is the storm I mentioned earlier. On the outside, they may still look stoic, silent, or even indifferent, but on the inside, they are tearing down the architecture of their own fear. They are grieving the version of themselves that was too small for the love you offered. This is a humbling process. It requires them to admit that they were cowards when you needed them to be brave. And unlearning is significantly harder than learning. Learning is adding something new. Unlearning is ripping out the roots of what has been there for decades. They are unlearning the idea that they can find a better version of what you shared. They've tried to look. They've tried to distract themselves with shallow connections, empty conversations, and the noise of the world. But every person they meet is just a faded shadow of the depth they felt with you. Every easy conversation only reminds them of the soul-shaking honesty they experienced in your presence. They are realizing that the freedom they were protecting was actually just a fear of commitment, and they are starting to understand a deep spiritual truth. True freedom isn't found in running away. It's found in having a home to return to. Right now, your soulmate is also noticing you differently, even from a distance, even through the silence. They are feeling the strength of your detachment. They feel that you are no longer a victim of their indecision. This is the most crucial part of their unlearning process. As long as you were chasing, they were learning that they could treat you as an option. Now that you've stopped, they are unlearning that entitlement. They are realizing that the bridge back to you is not built with excuses or "I've been busy" texts. It's built with a complete transformation of character. They are learning that to have a seat at your table, they have to bring more than just longing, they have to bring integrity. They are sitting with the discomfort of their own growth. They are feeling the weight of the silence they created. And for the first time, they are not trying to escape it. They are letting the fire of their own regret burn away the old, scared version of themselves, because they know, they finally know, that if they don't unlearn their fear now, they will lose the only soul that ever truly saw them. We have reached the moment of no return. In the world of energy, we call this the tipping point. This is the stage where the weight of the truth has finally become heavier than the weight of the fear. Your soulmate has reached a wall, and for the first time in their life, they aren't looking for a way around it, they are preparing to tear it down. For a long time, your soulmate lived in a state of mental negotiation. They would wake up and tell themselves, "I'll reach out when I'm more successful," or "I'll call when I've fixed my life," or the most famous lie of all, "I just need more time." They used time as a weapon against the connection, hoping that if they waited long enough, the intensity of what they felt for you would simply fade away. But the tipping point happens when the soul realizes that time isn't a healer, it's an amplifier. The longer they've stayed away, the louder your absence has become. Right now, their excuses are dying, one by one. The reasons they gave themselves to stay silent are being exposed as the lies they always were. They are realizing that there is no perfect moment. There is no safe way to love someone like you. There is only the choice to be brave, or the choice to live with a hole in their heart forever, and they are finally choosing bravery. What does this courage look like behind the scenes? It doesn't look like a Hollywood movie yet. It looks like a man or woman sitting in their living room at midnight, finally deleting the draft of the message they were too scared to send. It looks like them finally admitting to a friend, or even just to the empty air, "I messed up. I let my fear win, and I almost lost the only thing that mattered." This is the birth of accountability. They are no longer blaming the timing. They are no longer blaming circumstances. They are looking at their own hands and realizing they were the ones holding the door shut. Your soulmate is currently in a state of active readiness. This is different from just wanting you. Wanting is passive. Readiness is a movement. They are cleaning up the messes in their own life so they can have a clean space to invite you back into. They are distancing themselves from the distractions, the people who don't matter, the habits that numbed them, the shallow ego boosts that they used to fill the void you left behind. They are clearing the path. They are rehearsing the truth. And I want you to hear this clearly. They aren't rehearsing an apology just to get you back. They are rehearsing a confession. There is a huge difference. An apology seeks forgiveness. A confession seeks to be seen. They want you to see the messy, scared, and imperfect parts of them that they hid from you. They are feeling the tension of the void. Every time they see something beautiful, Every time they hear a song that reminds them of a joke you shared, the pain of not being able to tell you is becoming unbearable. It's like a physical pressure in their chest. That pressure is the universe's way of pushing them out of the nest. The pain of staying the same has finally become greater than the pain of changing. Listen closely. They are no longer asking, "What if they reject me?" Instead, they are finally asking, "What if I never try?" That shift in question is the tipping point. Rejection is a temporary sting, but regret is a permanent scar. Your soulmate has decided they can live with the sting, but they can no longer live with the scar. They are preparing for the grand alignment. In the spiritual world, action follows energy. Their energy has already shifted. Their heart has already made the decision. Now, their physical body is catching up. They are waiting for that one moment of pure, raw clarity, where they can speak without their ego getting in the way. They know they can't come back as the same person who left. They are becoming the partner you always knew they could be, not because you pressured them, but because your absence left them with no other choice but to grow. The silence is about to break, not with a whimper, but with the roar of a person who has finally found their courage. They are no longer running from you. They are finally gathering the strength to run toward you. We have traveled through the storm, through the unlearning, and through the tipping point. Now, we arrive at the destination, the moment where the internal becomes external. This is the final truth. Many of you watching this are waiting for a text, a phone call, or a knock on the door, and while those things are coming, I need you to understand the energy behind that final action. Your soulmate is no longer coming back to test the waters. They are no longer coming back to see if they can still have a part of you without giving all of themselves. The final truth is this: your soulmate has realized that equality is the only way forward. They are stepping out of their autopilot life. They are looking at the years ahead and they cannot see a single version of a happy future where you aren't standing there. This isn't a romantic whim. It is a spiritual necessity. They have reached a point where living without your frequency feels like living without oxygen. But now, we must talk about the most important person in this story, you. Your role in this final phase is the most powerful one. Your role is not to wait. Your role is to anchor. In the United States, we are taught to hustle for what we want. But in the realm of the soul, chasing is an act of lack. When you chase, you communicate to the universe that the thing you want is running away. Your soulmate is finally moving toward you because you stopped running after them. You stopped being a satellite orbiting their confusion and you became the sun. The sun doesn't chase the planets to keep them warm. It just stays exactly where it is, burning with its own light. And the planets have no choice but to stay in orbit. Your role now is to stay in your sun energy. You are no longer the person who accepts breadcrumbs. The version of you that accepted ambiguity died in the silence of the last few months. When your soulmate finally makes their move, and they will, it will be a test of your new boundaries. They aren't just coming back to see if you still love them. The universe is sending them back to see if you finally love yourself more. Your healing has been the catalyst for theirs. By choosing yourself, by choosing your peace over their chaos, you created a vacuum. And the universe abhors a vacuum. It had to be filled. Your soulmate was forced to fill that space with their own growth because they could no longer rely on your energy to carry them. So, what do you do tomorrow? What do you do an hour from now? You remain grounded. You continue to build the life that makes you feel alive. Regardless of whether they are in it yet, you stay in the knowing. The knowing is different from hopping. Hopping is full of anxiety. Knowing is full of peace. You know that what is divinely yours cannot be taken away. You know that the bridge is built. You know that the words are being formed. Your soulmate is currently in the final preparation stage. They are shedding the last skin of their ego, and while they do that, your job is to remain the prize, not the hunter. The truth about what your soulmate is really doing is that they are learning how to be worthy of you. They are learning that love is not a feeling to be consumed, but a responsibility to be honored. They are preparing to offer you the one thing they've never given anyone else, their unfiltered, honest, and courageous presence. Don't look for signs in the outside world today. Look for the sign inside your own heart. Do you feel that sudden stillness? That sense that the war is over? That is your confirmation. The limbo is ending. The confusion is burning away. The silence is about to become a bridge. Stay in your power, stay in your peace. Your soulmate is no longer running. They are coming home. And this time, they are coming back to stay.